The task that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation approached us with was to create a modernized city within Africa. We had complete control over the city, but have to place a particular emphasis on the physical layout, transportation, power, water and waste treatment, essential services that need to be provided, balance of residential and commercial property, and sustainable growth for up to 100,000 people from a base population of 25,000 people. City transit is very important in a city with such a large population and spans such a large area. Our goal is to cut back on independent travel with cars as much as possible. To this end, we have decided to implement carpool lanes across the city on every major road. We have also included bike lanes on every road and wide sidewalks for pedestrians. We also have a bus station that runs 5 different routes to 33 separate bus stops. We also have an airport for citizens to travel to other parts of the country and the world.
We decided to use the Inga Dam to power our city. The dam is located on the Congo River and is currently under construction, but when it is complete and fully operational, it will be powerful enough to supply power to all of Africa. The power generated at the dam will be stepped up to travel roughly 400 to 500 miles to our city. From there, the power lines will lead into a substation and be stepped down to be wired to our industrial zone and commercial and residential zones. The Inga Dam seemed like the most logical option because it is already under construction. Political disagreements have slowed its progress, but its potential is too great for us not to use. By the time our city is constructed, we are damn sure it will be operational enough to supply our city with power. We have one water plant located on the island east of our city. This plant can process up to 144 million gallons of water every day, which is well over the 8 million gallons per day 100,000 people will require. We modeled our water plant after the Miramar water plant in San Diego, California. It will purify water from Lake Tumba. For 25,000 people, we will also need one 2 million gallon water tower. For 100,000 people, we will need two 2 million gallon water towers and three 1.5 million gallon water towers. Our one wastewater plant is also located on the island east of our city. It can process up to 175 million gallons per day, exceeding the 10 million gallons per day produced by 100,000 people. Our wastewater treatment plant is based off of the Point Loma wastewater treatment plant in San Diego, California. We will place our treated wastewater back into Lake Tumba.
The physical layout of the city is based on a grid system. We have arrived to this design as the grid system is used throughout the modern world. We have used a grid system for the main reasons centered around efficiency. The first being that it provides for predictable lot sizes, making it easier to build and rebuild. Another reason is for simplicity of navigation, especially for newcomers to the city. The number of different routes to the same point allows for important routes in traffic jams and for construction. The flexibility of the design also extends far beyond a simple way around traffic. Grid systems also allow for the easy addition of new roads without the mass destruction of the buildings in the area. The final reason for using a grid system is that it allows for the shortest possible route between almost any 2 points in the city. The lowest tier of life in the city will be the lower middle class. This idea fully takes shape within the different zones of Tumba Town. Within Tumba Town, the industrial region, which will inevitably produce pollution, is the farthest away from the residential zones, allowing for a standard of life not inhibited by the pollution. Additionally, the quasi-residential zones will provide a more city feel to the residents who desire to live in a city, and the industrial zone will provide a source of labor for the citizens of the city. Furthermore, the blue residential zone provides a town for the residents that have grown tired of the city life. But in an attempt to allow the residents to not live monotonous day-to-day lives, we have also implemented High Street, the venue for nightclubs, theaters, restaurants, and shopping malls. Additionally, we are including a park near the coast with a boardwalk for residents to unwind and relax. The wealth residential zones next to the beach will create a Hampton-esque environment that will help bring in wealthy individuals to Tumbatown. The patches of commercial land allow for residents living in the town to buy the necessary groceries for daily life, as well as having a nice area for restaurants. Finally, the office space district will allow for residents to work in a major corporation, such as T-Mobile or Nationwide, or various small businesses that they want to develop within the beautiful area known as Tumbatown.
When placing the essential services of Tumbatown, two comparative places were used: Lemon Grove, California to represent the initial 25,000 person population, and Southgate, California for the 100,000 person population. Using the statistics of both cities, the placement of police stations, fire stations, the hospital, the elementary, middle, and high schools, and parks was decided. This was also used for the beginning and end quantities of the said services. The police stations are placed in centralized areas of the residential zone in order to respond at the best average times possible. The options for the police stations were either one major or two smaller stations. As the number of police officers only needs to double, it was decided that two smaller stations, especially given the size of the city, were needed to cover the distance. They are not near the business district, as significantly less crime is expected in this area. Fire stations are placed diagonally in order to be able to cover both the residential and industrial districts. They are placed underneath water towers as a dual use of the buildings. The hospital, as shown, is much larger than required for the population. This is to accommodate for a large portion of the surrounding cities. It is a major point of the city as a humanitarian effort. It will be near High Street and stays in the commercial district in order to not intrude on the residential district while still being nearby the houses. The city is planned to be a unique place for families to live and has a comprehensive school plan in order to support families with children. There are 12 elementary schools planned to be spaced throughout the city. It will be in the residential district to have individual attention for students as they begin learning. There are 2 middle and 2 high schools planned. While this is a large jump in size, roughly 2,000 in each school, the size will allow for the buildings and staff to be better than if split up between more schools and thus less money going to each school. Generally, as shown by the differences between the 25,000 and 100,000 maps, the services grow as the city grows. This should work well to transition in size to its expected maximum population.
And finally, with the Gates Foundation's help, we will be able to make Tumbatown a reality.